And welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to look at the latest news coming out of Old Trafford, and as per usual, we are a shambles. I'm Keith. I'm the host of Total Football Talk. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. We'll crack on with the show. If you're enjoying any of the content, I really appreciate it. The viewing figures are flying up, which is amazing. Thank you very much for everybody who's watching. Please feel free to throw in the odd comment here and there. I really appreciate that. Please give me a like too if you come across it, and yes, and just a little subscribe too, just to help me grow this little channel. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. Let's crack on with the news. So there's obviously a lot of talk about Dorgu from Lecce, and it's becoming really fascinating because at the minute, anytime Manchester United try and do a deal, it's always a bloody nightmare. So obviously the news came out that we're interested in this young Danish wing back. Mainly plays on the left, can't play on the right. He looks like he's got a lot of potential, but are we, as I said before, are we a team that pays for potential now? Well, we have paid for loads of potential and it hasn't paid off. So this time I think we've got to try and find the right price, negotiate the right price for this so-called potential. And that right price for me is nothing more. If we go over £25 million, I'm not talking euros. I mean, ideally you'd like to pay 25 million euros add-ins all plus all covered. But yeah, if we go over 25 million, oh boy, are we just getting our pants pulled down once again, like as per always. Now, what is actually happening here? Are we going to do a proper deal? Are we going to do a deal that, this kid has played about, is it 3,000 minutes roughly in Serie A, in a relegation battle? He's 20, and they think these guys are looking for 34 million euro. I think that's what Lecce are looking for, 34 million euro. I mean, come on. What's this all about? They can ask for it, but Manchester United have got to say no. They've got to just act like a proper football club and just say, we'll give you 25 million, take it or leave it. If not, forget it. As good as the kid is, as much as potential as he has, we just walk away from the deal. We need him, but we shouldn't be getting absolutely pummeled every time we try and bring in a transfer for them wanting X amount more, because we've got to stop it. Until we actually start walking away from a few deals and stop paying ridiculous prices for players, we're continuously going to get absolutely shafted left, right and centre. So I actually think Manchester United have got a decision to make here, and they've got to make it quickly because the transfer window is ticking. So let's make that decision. If you're going to go for it, give them an ultimatum. Say this is the final offer, and we think this is a fair value in the current market. In market on transfer market, he's valued in and around kind of 20 million, which I think is fair enough for someone potential and who is learning his trade. Because if a kid like him comes to Manchester United, is he going to be able to cope with the pressure? The team is under massive scrutiny at the minute. Is he going to be able to come in and cope with that straight away, or we just got another 25, 30, 35, whatever it is, and just flushed it down the drain and decided that we just can squander more money and then have another left back who either maybe gets injured, who can't mentally cope with the situation, just can't find his way into the Premier League, we've got to find a way to make this deal work for us. And just in case, it's almost having that parachute in place in case it fails, that we can still be able to sell them on worst case scenario. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So let's see what happens with Dorgu as we move forward. Good player from what I've seen, but I've not seen loads, so I'm not going to profess to know that much about him. But potential, yes. But as we know about potential, who knows? So the rest of the kind of headlines we're going to looking at today, the Napoli and the Garnacho to Napoli scenario is an interesting one. Is he going to go? Are Chelsea really interested? I've spoken about this before. I'm not entirely sure. Will Ineos actually help Ruben Amorim out? Laurie Whitwell has kind of talked about this recently again, which is a bit of a farce, and not about what Laurie Whitwell says, but just in general and how that story has come about. Forestigal, and Napoli are going to open another bid at £42 million for Garnacho. And come on, is this where Garnacho is really? Is this what it is all about? But go back to the top story for a second. Dorgu and their sporting director came out and he did an interview with Sky Sports proclaiming that Dorgu is a very important part of Lecce's team for the season, and that he is needed for their relegation battle. Like, Manchester United got to just get grips with the Dorgu thing and find a way to make a deal happen, or else walk away from it. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I've had enough of this nonsense. So now, and also on that, well, Napoli, you're talking about Garnacho and 42 million. Like, he's got the best statistics across Europe for his age group. So kind of under 21s, better than Lamine Yamal from Barcelona. He has got some fantastic statistics. Now, I know statistics can be skewed, and I also know that some of those performances and some of those kind of goals and creations, chances created, have come from playing against the likes of Barnsley and some of the weaker competition in the English divisions, whether it's through cups or in the Premier League. So I totally understand that, but I still think he's got a lot of potential. And I just think in this particular market, if we're selling cheap, which 42 million is cheap, we're letting someone go that could potentially come back to haunt us. And yes, he might not. He might go on and he might fail somewhere else. He might go to Napoli and he might struggle. He might not be able to integrate with the culture. He's got a lot of elements to look at as well. So I can fully appreciate that it's not necessarily easy for Garnacho to go away and just kickstart and fly somewhere else, but he should be flying for us. But obviously, I appreciate he doesn't quite fit Ruben Amorim's system, but that still doesn't mean that we shouldn't hold out for a reasonable price for someone at his age. And yes, he has potential, but he's also done quite a bit. He has scored a lot of goals. He has created a lot of chances. He has played for the Argentina national team. He has won trophies with them. He has won trophies with Manchester United. He's won a Puskas Award. He's done quite a bit in a short period of time when he's been overused by Ten Hag. And I know why he did it. I know why Ten Hag did it, but he was being overused. And yes, he needed a break, and he didn't get one. So where does that leave this whole situation? I don't know, but I still believe that Manchester United should get good value for money here, and they shouldn't sell them on the cheap. Because Manchester United tried to buy players from Napoli before, Koulibaly and all that kind of stuff, and they were asking for 100 million. I mean, eventually we didn't go for the deal; we ended up walking away. But which in the past, I mean, United have done stupid deals, and they have gone all in, and like Casemiro for 60 million for someone who was at the age he was. So United have done stupid deals, and they have paid over the odds massively. And Napoli and other clubs have decided, well, we're going to do that to Manchester United. So now it's Manchester United's turn. If Napoli really want him, then find a good figure for. I'm not saying he's 100 million or anything like that, but find a good figure for him and make it happen if you want to. Otherwise, Manchester United should tell him to do one. He will still be an important part of the team, Garnacho, to the end of the season, because we can't just let everyone go. As I said, Anthony's going to Real Betis. So fair play to him. He's off ski, and he can have a good time there, and hopefully he can rise. His value can rise, and give us some stock again, so that we can maybe trade him further down the line for a decent price. And the whole Rashford thing. Well, we'll get onto it in a minute, but I don't know how much news there is on that. Okay, and so there was a story came out from Laurie Whitwell saying that Ruben Amorim has had a meeting with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and they had 20-minute talk, and Sir Jim had said, I will try and back you. I mean, sweet Jesus, what does that even mean? We're halfway through the transfer window. What were they doing? Scratching their backsides up until now and wearing blinkers. Actually, wearing blindfolds. Blinkers wouldn't, blindfolds, and not watching anything. I'm really surprised that they haven't had this conversation before. I'm really surprised that halfway through the transfer window, they actually having this conversation now. After the Brighton game, whenever things are in turmoil, they now then decide, oh, maybe we should help this man out. Just what they do a review, Brailsford and his, marginal gains. Sweet Jesus, we need massive gains here. Marginal gains are a complete waste of time right now. We need humongous gains, and very, very quickly. So where is all this? Is he going to pull his finger out, Sir Jim? And I don't know how he does it. And if it's only to sell Garnacho for 43 million or whatever it is, he maybe ends up going for. I mean, that's not really helping anyone. That's not helping the club. It's not really actually. Financially, it is. I get it. Financially, it is for FFP and PSR. Understand that. But, in the grand scheme of things, he should be worth more. We should be bringing in more money. There should be more funds available for Ruben Amorim. But unfortunately, the mismanagement of this club has left him in a situation where we're decided buy to sell, which I've been or sell to buy, sorry, and I've been talking about this before. Nonsense. Anyway, I just think it's a bit late for Sir Jim to be coming in halfway through the transfer window and saying, yes, we will help you. Should have been doing that when he came into the bloody club. He's been here for what, a few months now? 3 months, is it? Something like that. November, December, January. Yeah, coming in around 3 months. Why were they not doing that straight away? They must have known that all these players were never going to fit the role. And okay, yeah, Ruben needed time to figure out who could and who couldn't work the system. But for Jim to be coming in halfway through the transfer window, come on, man. You're a United fan. Like, are you not watching this? Take the blindfold off. You're not Stevie Wonder. Let's just go. Let's just start now. Get something done. I'm not asking for the world, but they need a couple of players in, and they need them in quick, smart. And that's pretty much my rant on that. We need to get on with it. And then finally, Rashford. There's still a lot of talk that Rashford now wants to come back and play in the team. Can he get back into that team? Does he even fit the system? I don't think he fits the system. I don't think he gives enough effort. He's out training. There's a lot of public kind of images of him out training, by himself. Fair play to the lad. He's trying to keep himself right. Give him kudos for that. Trying to keep himself fit. Needs to keep going, but he needs a new club. Barcelona, can't really see it happening. I mean, look, I actually watched the Barcelona Benfica game last night. Brilliant game, amazing game of football. Unfortunately, Manchester United are not part of these games anymore. I can see why Rashford would want to be part of that, but I've just got a feeling that won't come to anything. And I don't think Dortmund or AC Milan seems to have cooled their interest. They seem to be picking up interest somewhere else. Kyle Walker maybe, or someone else. And that kind of leaves Rashford out in limbo. And I just hope for Ruben Amorim's sake that he's not forced to take Rashford back into this team, because clearly he doesn't want him. He'll be 12. It's 11 games against Rangers if he doesn't play. I think that's right. 11 games that he won't have played. Won't have been in the squad. Okay, we're going to let players go, so maybe spaces will open up, and he might have to put him on the bench. But if he starts using them again, and I know everyone deserves a second chance, and maybe it'll work, but I just can't see it happening. So I'd prefer if he could find a club in the last couple of weeks of this transfer window to help himself out, to mentally help himself out, to physically help himself out, to help his career out, and to help Manchester United out. It's win-win-win all around if he can. But if he can't, another hassle for Ruben Amorim to have to deal with, like Ten Hag had to deal with Greenwood and Ronaldo. And the more hassle there is to do, the more focus is taken away from the team, and the more difficult it becomes for this team to actually move forward. And that's what we really need to do. So that's a roundup of all your news and a little rant from me. I'm Keith. Thank you very much for listening. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it, guys. If I can grow this a little bit, it'd be absolutely amazing, because I love doing it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.